Hello and welcome to the latest This is the Music Meets podcast. I'm delighted that Benji and Joe from the Mighty Lock-In are today's guests. The band have recently announced the release of their new single, which is their best one to date, in Sweet Love, as well as a huge headline show at the Garage in London in April 2023. Benji and Joe, welcome back to the podcast. It is, of course, your third appearance on the show. So how are you both doing?
Good, thank you. Class, mate. Looking forward to this tune coming out on Friday. Absolutely buzzing for it.
Yeah, it's a great tune. Obviously we're going to come on to that in a little bit, but obviously we've had a few chats over the years, obviously podcasts and gigs and stuff. So like when you look back sort of, you know, from where you started to where you are now, how do you like reflect on your journey as a band?
I think what do you mean? Like generally looking back on everything we've done so far? Because in space of 2 years in COVID, it's all sort of just happened like that, mate. To be honest with you.
Yeah, it has, isn't it? There has been a hell of a lot that's gone on, really. So yeah, kind of. Yeah, what are your thoughts on like where Lock-In sort of kind of like were at the very beginning to, you know, kind of like where you are now?
I think we've always believed that we were going to get to where we are now, and obviously we believe that we're going to get way further than what we are now. But just sort of looking back on everything, it's nice to reminisce. But I'm always looking forward, to be honest with you. I'm always looking at, you know, as we talk about the next headline show we've got in April, single on Friday. Don't really get much time to think about what we've done. But then every now and then it is good when we all sit down together to talk about all the good memories we've had so far, you know. But yeah, always looking forward, always looking forward.
Definitely. And how about you, Joel? Obviously, you've obviously been in the band for what's about best part of a year now. I'll get there eventually. Sounded like Pick Up a Penguin. Yeah. And how about you? How do you sort of see it? Like, obviously, sort of kind of like being, you know, obviously like brother and friend of the band to start off with, and then obviously, you know, I mean, obviously since you've come in, things are getting bigger and better. I mean, I'm not sure if that's all down to you or not, but
it is. No, I think Ben's put it perfectly, to be fair, and I was exactly what I was going to say. You don't really get time to think. I mean, it's just like Truck Festival, and that's got to be the highlight for me so far. But we did that first set on the Thursday, and we haven't really got over it. And then we got asked to do the next set. It's always nice. It's nice when you get time to reflect, but we do one thing and then you're automatically looking onto the next thing. So we did Rewired, and then we looked. It was the next set of gigs, and we had tour booked, and now we've got tour, we've got tune. It's all happening at once again, to be fair. And I think that's what kind of motivates us. We can't just sit around and do nothing. We've always got to have something in a pipeline to sort of crack on with. But I know we're enjoying it and stuff, and we've got some good things to look forward to. So
yeah, you have, and obviously as you've both mentioned already there. Obviously, Sweet Love is out on Friday the 18th of November. You guys obviously very kindly let me have a little listen to it, and I can honestly say it is your best single to date. Awesome. It's brilliant. It really, really is. So what can you tell us about it? How did the song come about?
How did the song come about?
It's a great question. I think it was Gus, from what I can remember anyway. When Gus came to us with the chords, basically the guitar part that Gus plays, he plays in a different tune. I think he was just at home playing with a different tune in his guitar. I think he even got the inspiration from Ben Howard or someone like that. I can't remember now. And he was just saying, I've got these new chords, and it started off as quite a slow song.
Yeah, and then it always does with us though. Yeah, it always starts out sounding quite slow, but then when we're in the room, I'm just like, "Come on!" Like, literally, I mainly say that to get like the energy up, like the flow of the writing going. Then naturally the song just speeds up anyway. But this sort of branching off this new sort of era of tunes we're writing and what we've got in the pipeline already. Like I know we just wrote one the other day that's sort of similar as well to this sort of taking the element of the catchiness from sort of the first era of Lock-In to this new era of just sort of take a bit more heavy, but sort of combining them both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'd like to say quite a little catchy chorus, but with sort of more heavier elements. Sort of just brings it all together nicely. But just like most of our songs, it all happens in the room. Someone brings something, and that one again, it just happened in a space of a few hours, really. Obviously, then we come back the next session and you sort of refine it, and then when we're in actually recording it with a gent called Curtis from Premises Studios, and he'll be like, "Oh, we've got this idea, or let's cut that out a bit, let's shorten it, and sort of mix and match," you know.
Yeah. So just saying there about the producer then. So when obviously you guys have the idea, and obviously it sounds like he has a bit of input as well. Does he like really influence the song, and you just sort of pretty much go with what he says, or is it a case of, we'll try it and sort of, like see how it sounds like type of thing?
Well, I think no, he doesn't really change it super amounts, but we'd always be like, "Oh no, we don't really like that idea you just said." But 9 times out of 10, he'll bring an idea, and we're like, "Yeah, smashing, yeah, we'll do that." And it's usually really minimal things, but they make a big difference. I can't remember what he done with this one.
He's like a sixth member of the band in a way, sort of thing, because he's always just added things that we would never have thought of adding anyway. He works around music. He knows everything.
Yeah, and he always says about signatures. What signatures you've got to have, like elements. So like a second verse that changes is one of our signatures, he says, or I can't remember the other signature. He says you've got to have different elements that are basically making you. You know, you can't just have a song that plays the whole way through. But like, for example, what I remember him saying is "I Caught Feelings," like where it cuts out "I said oh," that bit, and then it goes into the beginning. Like he influenced that ending bit as well, you know. So yeah, he's good. He's good bloke to have around, because he's not afraid to tell us, you know, come, let's change something, or that sounds good, you know, which is good.
Yeah.
He gave us a lot of well, I wouldn't say stick, but it's our longest song. And he was like, "This is not a locking song, because usually they're under 3 minutes, and this one's about 4.5." So
yeah, that's another point as well. Yeah, it's a longer song than what we'd usually do. So that was another strange thing in the studio. Sort of, it's long, and it was we did 2 days instead of just the usual one we do to record like a single. Yeah, we did a little bit more as well when we were there. So.
Yeah, and just as well, like obviously with the with like your sound, because obviously it has changed, isn't it, quite a lot from from obviously the very, very beginning, with like Get Over It and all of that, and obviously you just mentioned I Caught Feelings, and obviously now Sweet Love. So is that sort of something that you guys are kind of like quite I don't know what the right word is, I guess, like determined maybe to be going, we don't want to be just like another like indie band, like we don't want to sound like what everyone else is doing. We do want to try and push our music into a different direction at times.
Yeah, I think as songwriters, you've got to want to be like that. You've got to want to be able to adapt, and we're just doing what we feel comfortable with and what we enjoyed. Like, there's definitely been times when we've tried to write songs that are like that era, or they're like, I'd love to write another Teenager, because the song's so fun to play live, but it's just you write what feels right, and what comes out at the time. It's a very natural process. What do you think?
I don't think we try and write to a genre in a way. I know we've got, if you look through we've got a WhatsApp chat with all of our demos in, and I mean, if you went through and listened to them, it varies so much. I think we're not, everyone has different ideas and different tastes, and we just put that into songs, and then everyone adds in their own parts, and that's what makes our music different, I think, because we're not, I wouldn't call us, we're not like a rock band, we're not a pop band.
Well, I always put it as like genre specific. I think you'd be quite
I like that one. I like that.
Yeah, quite fluid within sort of one area. Although we're definitely indie, but it's just within that, I think we've just branched out to so many different parts now. But that's not to say that, in a year's time, say we get an album ready or something like that, I don't know. But we might find our sound and then stick with it, like this Sweet Love sound might be the sound that we stick with now, but that time will tell, so again, it's just that writing thing, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And obviously there with that, so we're going to move from the studio. We're going to talk about these gigs that you've got coming up. We're going to come on to the Doubled Up tour, which obviously starts this Friday, doesn't it? In a little bit. We've got 3 dates on that. But first of all, let's talk about the Garage. Obviously, you've just announced the biggest headline show to date. It's in April the 8th next year. I know, chatting to you on Saturday, Benji, that you've done pretty well on the first. Obviously, we were chatting first day sales went very, very well. I mean, first of all, just what's the mood like in the camp? Thinking, like, obviously one of London, of the Garage, sort of iconic venue, isn't it, really, in London? what's the mood? What's the feeling like?
Well, I mean, even you just saying it then, I still don't really feel super right. It's a massive venue. And I was just reminiscing. I was a bit ironic, really. I was actually the other day looking at videos from O'Meara, trying to put some footage together for. So I do, yeah, I suppose I do. That goes back to the first question. Yeah, I've been looking at that. But yeah, no, I was looking at videos of that, and I was just a mental night. And it's just got me so excited. It's got me so excited. Like over 500, nearly 600 heads in one room. The place is going to be bouncing. It's going to be a sellout, and I'm just buzzing for it. I think we're all just so excited for it. To be honest with you, it's too long to wait. April, really.
Yeah, it is a bit of a way, isn't it? But I guess that just gets the juices flowing. And I mean, obviously for you as well, Joe. I mean, I'm guessing you've obviously, I know you guys played there in the summer, didn't you? Obviously, it was the Grace upstairs. But I mean, have you seen any other bands there before over the years? And sort of,
yeah, never. I don't think we've ever been to a gig there. I mean, I'm the one, and I've. When you look at videos on YouTube and stuff, don't you? And when you're researching where you want to play and where it's played before, and the 1975 did a charity gig at the Garage, and the videos from that are unbelievable. But then some massive bands have played there. I mean, I used to be into sort of pop punk sort of stuff when I was younger, and All Time Low did a gig there, and I mean that looked absolutely mad. And it's weird putting our name in amongst all these massive bands that have toured the world.
It's like Royston Club as well. They did one of their dates there with the Motive, who are top lads as well. But yeah, no, it's gonna be a mental night. It's gonna be a mental night. Get everyone together, sell out. It will be a sellout.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident of that. And what we'll do, obviously, with the episode bio, we'll put the link to those tickets as well in there as well, because you know, if you love Lock-In, then you're going to love that gig. It's going to be a special night, I'm sure. And if not, you'll have the after party as well. So
yeah, you know that's going
to
be
on it, which might go on for probably about a couple of weeks, I would have thought. But there we go.
Then we definitely are going to be missing your last train for that one, Mark.
Absolutely, yeah. I have to get a big hospital pass, I think, for that one. So, and obviously as well, but before all that, you're going out, as I say, on Friday. You got 3 dates, haven't you, with Comparison?
We're out every Friday, Mark, to be fair. But yeah, we've got a gig this Friday.
That is true. I have heard. No one knows where you live anymore. He's always out. Obviously, you got the 3 dates. You're in Leeds, Manchester, and Brighton. Obviously, it's the first time you've been out, obviously as a band, gigging for a bit. So I'm guessing you must be buzzing just to be getting back out on the live scene again.
Yeah, it'd be nice to. Well, obviously our last tour was this time last year, so obviously we did Rewired. We went Leeds then, and the crowds in Leeds are class. I mean, we did Sheffield last year, so everyone in that area is just class crowds and that. So buzzing together. In comparison, who we do it with, they're top people. So it's going to be great fun, really. Really looking forward to it. Isn't it? It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And Joe, what about, have you got any like pre-gig rituals or anything like that at all to sort of, you know, get you in the zone before you go out there?
Yeah, I think we just try to keep it as simple and as chill as possible. I mean, I don't put my left shoe on first or anything like that, like footballers do. But I think it's just about being staying calm and collected and just getting ready to go. And we always have a beer, and we try and locate a spoons if we can near to where the venue is to get some food. And
we like being together, really. I think that's where it is at. And like, as you say, calm, collected. We'll have a few beers. We're not nothing too heavy. That happens after. We try to keep it shum before the show, because we've had times where we've had a few beers before we've gone on, especially in the early days. But you've got to do it once to know, and that's just like weren't a good performance. So, but you've got to try these things before you do them, you know. But yeah, no, we're cool, collected, and Wetherspoons. They're the 3 words.
And this might be a little bit of a difficult one to answer, really. But what would you say is like the best gig that Lock-In have had so far to date?
Truck Festival first on the Thursday, the first day. I mean, at the start of the gig, there was probably about 150 people in the tent. And I was actually sort of content with that because it was the first day. It was a Thursday. Handed out probably at least 400 leaflets to people around tents and that. So I was like, do you know what? 150 people. We're going on stage. I was like, yeah, decent. That'd be all right. You're literally playing half-hour set. I think 15 minutes in, looked up and the tent was full. And it just happened out of nowhere. I think Vista's finished off the main stage and this feeling tent was on the way back to the camping tents.
Right. Yeah.
So look up and there's like 1,000 people looking over at Angus and he's like, what's going on? Look over, there's beach balls flat. We got a load of beach balls. We got basically a load of props to put into the crowd because we thought, well, let's make this a good one. I got my tequila gun, spraying it in people's mouths, and just a flood of people, and I've never seen anything like it. So yeah, that was the biggest gig. That's best for me.
Yeah,
has to be that.
I said
I'll answer it for him
easily. I think for us as well is we didn't know what to expect because it was the Thursday. They only had main stage and this feeling stage open. We don't know how many people are going to be there, but I think it works in our favour in a way because people there to listen to music, so they just went to another stage. So we kind of were blessed in a way.
And they saw me running around the stage like a dickhead and probably thought, yeah, what's going on here?
It was the beach balls.
Yeah, no, beach balls were flying. I've seen the videos on the set. We had Larry the Seal as well. He was bobbing up and down on the crowd.
Didn't I remember something saying? Didn't Blossoms end up at the Blossoms set or something on the other?
Larry gets about. We watching video. They did like a recap video of obviously their set, which was just after us on the main stage later on in the evening, and just see Larry bobbing up and down in the crowd. I was like, that's how Seal that is. But yeah, no, it was definitely a mixture of people Vistas finish on the main stage, people walking past, and obviously a load of shit flying about in the tent. They're probably enticed them in, and obviously the good tunes. And
well, definitely the tunes. But yeah, the other stuff was an added bonus.
Yeah, exactly.
And what? Where am I? I'm over here. That's where I am. If you could open for any band, who would it be?
Current or all time?
We'll do both. We'll get a nice little comparison. So let's go like all time to start off with.
All time. You go first.
Knew you was going to say that. It depends because there's location as well. Would love to have opened for Oasis at Nebworth when they did that. Like
specific gigs, yeah, probably. Any night at Nebworth. Even the recent LG Nebworth shows would have been pretty mental. Mm-hmm. I'm massively into Fontaines at the minute.
Yeah.
And just what they bring into the scene. So I'll probably say them for current, and then it's got to be Oasis for all time, isn't it? Well, you couldn't really say anyone else, could you?
Nah.
Especially in the 90s, like the scene was just booming it. I think supporting any band, just seeing Blur obviously announced their Wembley show today.
Yeah.
I mean, again, but any nights in the 90s, it was just nuts, wasn't it? Like, people just loved the scene. Britpop was booming. I think if you got on any support slot of any of them shows, you'd be laughing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And obviously, you've just mentioned Blur there, and I just want to say for the record that the ticket prices they put out are absolutely ridiculous.
Nuts,
140 quid for the Golden Circle. Jog
for
on,
130 for 130 quid less, you come watch us at the garage.
Exactly.
13 times.
And I can guarantee you'll have a better night as well.
Well, that's that support slot gone. Cheers, Mark.
Yeah, they weren't very good in the 90s anyway. Anyway, I'm only joking. If you are listening,
I could just see LG looking over your shoulder in the background, thinking,
"Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I've got him on my side." So what would you say like makes you guys stand out as a band? Like why you tell me not me, but the listeners, why should we come and see you in April at the garage? What are we going to expect?
It's always going to be a party. There's always going to be limbs flying about, and you always guarantee there's going to be a good tunes going on. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like the vibes are just always, everyone's there for each other. I don't think it's sort of like that sort of like rock and roll, but but in a really nice and sort of collective way. Everyone's together. Never any trouble at our gigs, you know, and it's just, as I say, vibes. One word, vibes. Pure vibes.
Absolutely.
You keep taking the words out of my mouth. One thing I say to people is if we're trying to push things, like, it's not. I wouldn't say it's really a gig. Like, you're not coming to watch a gig. It is a party. We're not. Yeah, it's not. It's just one big knees up, really.
Yeah.
We don't expect people to come have a drink and that and enjoy themselves and meet new people. We have quite a diverse crowd, I think. We're not sort of, I wouldn't say we've really got a particular type of person that listens to our music, I think.
Yeah, because a lot of our mates listen to our music, you know, and they're the people that will come into our gigs originally, and they're not necessarily into indie tunes, you know. They come because they want to support us, and I think that's where the core and the root of our following supporters started, by our mates doing that, and then people see that you're just there to have a good time. Even if you don't know some of our tunes, you don't have to know all our tunes. We're a pretty new band. I'm sure a lot of the people that come see us probably haven't, you know. I think it's just the collectiveness and the togetherness of our gigs. I think that's what it's enticing.
Sure, okay. And so this is a slightly random question, really. Obviously,
pizza and pineapple, is it?
Obviously, we're just round the corner from Christmas. Would Lockin ever consider either releasing like an original Christmas song in the future, or would you maybe go, nah, do you know what? All the classics, you know, we prefer that. We're gonna do a cover, and if so, what would you go and cover?
I think every year Sam definitely says, yeah, we'll have to do a Christmas song this year, and it's always too late by the time he says it. It's such a Sam thing to say. And I'm sure the same thing he said this year, but a World Cup song. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, I would like to do one, but you have to organise these things probably in summer, to be honest with you. And we're always by then, we're always too busy or just forget, you know. So I think it's a good thing to bear in mind coming into next year, to sort of think about doing something like this. Because I think it would do well, to be fair, and maybe with some other bands as well. I've always wanted to do something like that, sort of like what is it, like Live Aid, isn't it? They did it, but yeah, no, we'll.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think what I'm going to do now, I'm going to keep emailing you and messaging you every day from the 1st of January. Have you done it yet? Have you done it yet? Every day.
Would you want to hear a Christmas tune then, like as someone that's you would?
Yeah, why not? I mean, like, it's obviously, you know, you've got your other tunes obviously that are going on, and I think kind of like what you were just saying there about what makes you stand out as a band. I think that would make you stand out a little bit more as well. Do you know what I mean? Because it's no one else is doing it.
Yeah.
And you know, I think it keeps things moving. It keeps things fresh as well. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yes. Sam will be happy to hear that.
Yeah. No, I am keen, but it's just one of them things that, you know, it's Christmas is once a year, you know. So
is it?
Well,
yeah, I'm glad you've clarified that. Cheers, Benji.
But like, do you know what I mean? Like, when it comes around, it's already gone. You know, it's like one section and then that's it. You know, we can release tunes all year, but a Christmas song can only obviously release at Christmas. But the recording and the process of actually doing this is what I mean happens months before. But in them months before, you've got other shit going on, you know.
No flies on him, is there, Joe?
No. You know that.
So we've got a question here from the Spangled lads, which I think he's pretty much sums them up, not taking life too seriously, to be perfectly honest. But here you go. So, would you rather have bird beaks for eyes or tongues for fingers?
I've already thought about the answer. I'm well into my food. Like, imagine you can taste your food before you've even put it in your mouth.
Yeah.
But then on the cons of that, I guess everywhere you put your hands, you're gonna taste whatever that is. So
yeah.
That is a bit of an issue.
But then you can't. So you're going tongues for fingers, but you ain't going to see nothing. How do you know what you're eating?
well, I've got 10 tongues, so it doesn't matter. It's going to taste extra good, isn't it?
Yeah, I get it. It's true. Yeah, what are
I
you saying?
I don't know about you, but I don't eat with my eyes.
Well, I put weight on by looking at food. So yeah, actually, maybe it'd do me a favour actually with tongues to fingers then. And what about you, Joe?
Yeah, I personally can't see any benefits to having beaks for eyes. I've thought long and hard to see if there was, but yeah, I think I could. If you just wear gloves when you're not eating,
It's true.
then you're never going to taste horrible things, and then you can just
Makes a good point.
yeah.
Crack on. But how are you going to have a beer though? That'd be a bit weird, wouldn't it?
You can have two at once, can't you?
We're gonna have to put this to the test now somehow. I don't know how it'll work, but we'll try it. So, can you tell us something about either yourselves or one of the other members in the band that you think people would be surprised about?
Sam currently has a missing tooth.
Yeah,
right there.
Oh no.
There's not even a cool story behind it. I'd love to say, yeah, he got punched or or something like that. Or
he just basically has like baby teeth there. They took him out, and obviously he never had adult teeth behind it. And he has fake teeth there. You wouldn't even know, but one of them fell out.
When he was eating a steak ciabatta.
Oh, no.
So that all the videos you see at the minute of us speaking or anything like that, Sam's just got a gap there. It's proper funny. But apart from that, no. What interesting facts are there?
Oh, another one about Sam is he's got an unbelievable collection of hats.
Yeah. Sam again, he could tell you plenty of different facts.
Gus knows all the flags of the world pretty much.
Gus does know.
Yes, and yeah.
Yeah. We're an interesting bunch, Mark.
and funny enough, that brings me on, as you just mentioned, Gus there with the flags. Now, I'll admit, I've only just got onto TikTok, and I'm struggling to work out how it works. To be honest, it can't be that difficult.
As long as you follow us, that's fine. Just keep doing that. Just keep laughing. Happy days.
But you boys, every time I go on there, as you just said, you boys are on there virtually every day, with loads of different content and whatnot. So really, what I want to know is, do you find that the social media side of things is vital for bands, sort of like at the, that are sort of starting off, at the grassroots level, to try, to keep pushing forward and to keep, the fans, interested type of thing?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think I was a bit naive to the whole TikTok thing to start with, because we sort of started the band as well, sort of like the peak of us starting like during lockdown, as TikTok sort of really started booming. And things were trending. If anything, we got on there earlier, it could have helped us a lot more. But yeah, if you start a band now, you basically have to start with TikTok as well. It's so good. The views you can get on there. Yeah, no, it is good. But then you've also got to play your cards right in other areas. Like we've got Instagram, we know how to play that. Twitter, we've got Sam chatting a load of wass on there constantly. So I think we've got our eggs in each basket quite well, really. And TikTok was the only one we hadn't really got onto. So yeah, trying to get sort of 5 videos out a day, sort of varying in what they do. It does definitely help, and it does the views and the Spotify. It does tick on a lot more.
It's another platform which is free to use, which you can get a completely new and different fan base and push your music. Like half the we posted a video. Ben keeps doing these videos about Fontaines and doing funny videos about the lead singer and stuff, and we're picking up all these Fontaines fans that are loving the stuff, and then having a look at our music from that. And it's like you can be more relatable as a band. I know some bands will say they're way too cool to be on TikTok or that, but for us, it's not about that. We want to make it, and we want everyone to hear our music.
It's engagement and personality.
If one of our songs goes viral on TikTok, then so be it. Like it's not about that for us really, is it? It's fingers crossed.
It's engagement one, as you say. And that's what I think we're all referring to. And then personality of us lot. Through one video on Instagram every month or every so often, people can't gauge what we're like as people. Obviously, if they listen to the things like this podcast, you can, but obviously not everyone's going to listen to this. Whereas TikTok, a lot more people are on that these days, as you say. You've just got onto it, and more people are getting onto it, you know. So I think it shows what we're like as people a lot more. Like Sam doing his random facts, me looking like an idiot doing an impression of Grian from Fontaine's, but we're just being ourselves, you know. That is literally what we're doing. We're not forcing some fake personalities and making videos we don't want to make. We're just doing what feels right. Again, I think I keep saying it. I think that's what we want to do and what we want to keep sticking by, you know, writing tunes that are us and making shit that's us as well, you know.
Yeah, sure, definitely. And gonna move away briefly from the music. Obviously, you guys both West Ham fans, and I know obviously long suffering season to get old, especially this season. So what's your thoughts on what's going on at the moment? And do you think that our fans are right to be having a pop at David Moyes?
Yeah, I mean, they say you can't hold on to what he's sort of done for us so far, like obviously the European places and obviously getting us to a semi-final. Yeah, but these days it's all about what's happening now, you know. And I think it's not just happened this season. I think he finished last season, obviously not that well as well. So I'm sort of stuck on the fence whether I'm Moyes in or Moyes out. It's a tough one. It is a tough one because I do think he's done a lot for us. And his project was always long term. His project was always long term. What's not to say we would have got to this point and not had Europe, and then next season we did the same thing as we did 2 seasons ago, you know. So he's a long term manager, so I do back him. But at the same time, we need results, and we don't want to be caught in a dogfight towards the end of the season, do we?
No, definitely not.
What we need to remember is, and I mean, like you see it all the time on Twitter. You always get the polar opposites. People going Moyes out, he's rubbish and all this. But at the same time, I mean, there's only like 12 points between us and the top 7, which is nothing at this stage of the season. If you sack him now, we've got a World Cup break. You can't. There's not going to be a full squad back in England. You can't expect a full manager to come in. And they've got the January transfer window as well. Whether if they hire someone new,
and also you've got the argument of who to bring in. You sack him now. I think it'd be very naive to say that you could bring in someone like Poch or Tuchel, which a lot of people are saying. I'm seeing it's a bit fickle saying that. I don't think you could bring in a manager like that. I don't think let's not get carried away here.
Plus, Noble's back in January, which I think will just bring a completely different dimension to the whole setup again, because people said the squad. Well, like Rice has already said, having Noble there during the Europa League games when we got that far, he did play a bit, to be fair, but just having that seniority and a legend really in most of the boys' eyes to have around and that. I think it will obviously help. So yeah, I don't think we should.
You don't think we should?
No.
No, I'm with both of you. I think it'd be crazy personally. And as you say, we're not. If maybe Pochettino had been, I don't know, a year, 2 years or something out of a job, you might have a chance. But I don't see that. But hey, let's as you say, let's hope we get some results very, very well when they come back after the World Cup, which takes me on to: do you think England are finally going to bring football home?
Oh, well, I don't know. Do you know what? I don't know whether it is that controversial of an opinion anymore, to be fair, but I'm not really that interested in this World Cup coming up.
It doesn't feel like it all.
Everything that's going on with it anyway, as controversial as it is, and obviously that whole situation. But I mean, we've all got jobs and that, or we're at uni. It's the games are in the day and stuff on a Monday at 1 o'clock. I mean, yeah, I'll be writing emails at that time, but I don't know. Yeah, it's different.
It doesn't feel like the Premier League's just finished, and some schools out for summer and everyone's ready for drinking beer in the beer garden and watching England, win. It doesn't feel like that at all. And I think the squad we've got is good. It could win a World Cup. It could definitely get to a final, a semi-final. But I don't know. The sort of already get around these sort of tournaments is meant to be so hyped up, but I just feel like no one cares this year. But yeah, rightfully so though. Hopefully they don't get much publicity from it from all the stuff that's been going on. Obviously with all the LGBT stuff, it's disgusting. It should be boycotted.
Absolutely.
And I think like Joe Lyslett, that guy, he's a comedian, isn't he? Said and I know Gary Neville got called out on 8 out of 10 Cats, didn't he?
For commentating on it.
And I just think there's been a lot of hypocrisy around it. But yeah, no, for that reason, I'm not looking forward to it, to be fair. But England, on the other hand, I hope they do win it. Obviously, it'd be good. But yeah, no, there's so much controversy surrounding it. It's a bit mad, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. And just before you go, obviously, just let everyone know, where can they listen to Sweet Love this coming Friday?
So Sweet Love's out this Friday, the 18th of November. You can stream it on Spotify, Apple Music. These are all the main popular streaming websites. And you can also buy tickets now for our next London headline, which is on the 8th of April.
Great stuff. Benji, Joe, that is the end of the podcast. It was absolutely an absolute pleasure having you back on today. And I wish you all the luck in the world, not just with the single Sweet Love, as Benji just said, is out on Friday, but obviously also as well with the forthcoming tour and obviously that massive headline gig at the Garage next year. We're going to include the pre-save link for Sweet Love in the episode bio, along with the tickets link for the Garage. And yeah, all that leaves me to say is thanks to everyone for listening to the This Is The Music Meets Lock-In podcast. We will see you all again very soon.
Cheers. Nice. Thanks for having us, mate. Really appreciate that.